no one training, there's no one interested enough in clay to become a collector. It's the lowest end of the barrel.
Why do you find that is?
Well, because no one knows anything about it. They really don't study clay. If you do, we can ask Lance. He's going to come in this afternoon because he's done these things. You know, he one time he had a Ferrari that was parked on one side of the street, and he had a T-Bowl that was from Japan that was worth about $100,000. And he asked the guy, he said, which would you rather have?
Right.
This beautiful wonky T-Bowl or that Ferrari? And the guy said, or you'll ask someone what clay is, and they'll say, well, my grandmother does that in the basement. It makes ducks. And that's the full thing. That's all of it.
Hey, mister,
You think the grandma's like?
you want to cut this reduction back a little bit?
Huh?
You want to cut this reduction back?
Yeah, I'm going to quit throwing in a second, and you want to start up. I'm okay.
Think we ought to cut it back a little bit, or what?
You know, Paul, I don't know with those burners. I think we should, yeah. A little bit, because that's a lot of flame.
Okay. That's what I was thinking.
It won't. Here's what we were talking about before. The old way of firing kilns were to reduce it from the start and then reduce it all the way up real heavy. And that's something you don't want to do anymore, because all that does is it wipes out all the oxides, especially copper. If you're trying to do copper reds, you're going to wind up with nothing left. It'll be white. People say, well, I've oxidized the kiln, that's white. No, if you oxidize it, copper red goes green. It goes mint green, so you know you oxidize. White is overfiring it and reducing all the copper away. That last layer of copper is the candy apple red, and that is the most coveted red you can possibly get, because you're seeing just this thin layer, like a candy coating over the porcelain. You're actually seeing the clay body reflect underneath it or through it. The real opaque, like tomato, is just not reduced enough, and you haven't reduced that copper away. See, people don't think of that. And you can actually screw up iron really badly by reducing it too much. You're going to just take those red tones, and you're going to wind up with a lot of black.
Tom, back to the thought about the collectors and there not being that many anymore. Do you think part of that, Tom, is due to there's just a lot of people who are making inexpensive work, and the market is so flooded
Saturated.
with inexpensive work that
Home goods.
No.
it's just it's not enough.
You know, at NCCA this year, anyone go to the National Ceramics Conference here?
It's back east, isn't it?
You did. Well, you notice at every one of those galleries, the size of the pieces and the prices, there was six in-house galleries, and each one made, the least one of them made was $40,000, the gallery. But the size of the pieces averaged about that big, and they were mostly cups, with the exception of a few, ones that didn't sell. But because everyone that goes to Seeker, they're potters, and it's the potters buying other people's pots, and they're the size that they can take home with them. And same with the cup shows. It's all, I mentioned that yesterday.
Well, I wonder, you were talking about why is pottery not like painting,
Right,
right?
right.
Maybe our mentality as humans is that it was always functional ware. There were bowls and cups and things that we never, not until maybe Focus, did we think of them as art.
Well,
It's fairly a new
I had asked
idea.
the
you know?
question yesterday, or why Asia and the Eastern cultures are fine.
value it more.
They take it very seriously.
Thousands of years of
Thousands
history.
of years of history. It's embedded in their culture, craftsmanship. Their cultures are based off of discipline.
They're discerning.
No one would ever let anyone else copy anyone else.
This is all discipline.
If they saw you copying someone else's, that's why there's all these little cities. I mean, Japan had Shino, Shigaraki,
The secret.
Shizen. Yeah, and so every one of those villages did one thing, and no one copied what they did. They couldn't, for one thing, because when you were a Zen potter, you moved to a place that just had that clay. That's all there was there. They had this black earthy clay, and it made beautiful work. But then you go to Shigaraki, where they had clay with feldspar chunks, and it would spit out. And that was their deal. Or you went to Shino, where the Shino was produced. That was just dug. They would dig. It was mostly feldspar. Dig feldspar and earth out of the ground, and that was their clay. And so it was that beautiful. They developed Shino glazes then.
Even in Asia, the modern people, like in Korea, they don't value ceramics. Like just like we don't.
China doesn't.
China doesn't because it's very mass produced.
No, it's not that. You think about it. They're not mean artists. They're workers. That's their job. They go and they make. They're good.
They're
potters.
amazing. Yeah, potters.
They're amazing,
Yeah.
but that's their job.
They make hundreds of the same thing.
And they produce that and they don't think a thing of it afterwards. They're just like making
like a
tires.
factory.
Yeah,
They don't
they're
trim
making
it.
tires.
They send it to someone to trim. There's a
Yeah,
guy
they're
who's trained
specialized,
as the
That's
trimmer.
right.
It's an
The
assembly
guy
line.
does the glazer.
And we're going crazy over their work and they don't understand it here. We're bringing these people in and paying them more money than they'd get in a year. These people. We're bringing the Chinese. That's not racist. You people.
It's only
and
racist
they're
if I get
amazed.
offended.
They think we're idiots. I've talked to some of these people through an interpreter and they go, this is crazy. You people are making heroes out of us and we're just doing our job. And you're going, oh my God, and they think we're idiots. In the long run, they really do. Which maybe we are. I don't know what to think of all that, but I agree that they're very masterful. And anyone that's doing beautiful work should be applauded for that. I don't think they even know why.
I think that maybe we should just value the process and that it teaches us, about me. But luckily, like I teach, so I make a living, so I don't have to think about that. So, but I know that I value the process because I'm finding out about myself.
So
Fortunately, I don't have to sell it.
a lot of the Japanese like national treasures. Like I remember when I was looking